Welcome back. In our first video, we covered what ASRS is and the basics of reporting. Today, we're diving deeper into the practical side, how to actually collect and manage all that data. Let's get into it. So we'll cover 5 critical areas: defining your purpose for data collection, understanding exactly what data you need, identifying where that data lives in your organization, and choosing the right data collection methods. And finally, how to bring your whole team on board. So let's start with purpose. So defining your purpose. If you only think about ASRS as a compliance exercise, it becomes an expensive tax on your business. But if you approach it as an opportunity to improve operations, reduce risk, and drive innovation, then suddenly it's valuable. Your primary driver might be meeting regulatory requirements, of course, but it could also be managing risk better, meeting stakeholder expectations, improving efficiency, or unlocking innovation. You can make this meaningful, not just mandatory. Scope 1, 2, and 3. So this is a nice visual just explaining what these scopes are. Scope 1 is your direct emissions. So these are your facilities and vehicles, things that you burn in operations. Scope 2 is your purchase energy. And Scope 3 is everything in your value chain, upstream and downstream. To break Scope 3 down further, we've got 15 different categories here. We've got upstream and we've got downstream. So upstream includes 8 categories, such as purchase goods and services, capital goods, business travel, employee commuting, and waste, whereas downstream covers 7 categories, including transportation, product use, franchises, and investments. So not all of these will be material for your business, but you will need to assess which ones matter the most. So internal data sources. So where does all your data live internally? You'll be pulling your data from utility bills, from statements, from finance reports, from procurement, invoices, contracts, leases, expense claims, HR systems, and so on. It's important to understand that this data already exists, so you're just collecting it in a new way for a new purpose. Then you've got external data. So you'll be getting this largely from your key suppliers. You'll work with your freight and logistics providers, your travel management companies, waste contractors, energy retailers, landlords, property managers, cloud service providers. Building these supplier relationships early is critical. So your support functions involved. There isn't just one person that can do this job. You'll obviously need to get cooperation from across the business, from finance, from procurement, facilities, HR, IT, your sustainability and risk team, and your supply chain teams. So each of these owns a piece of the puzzle, which brings us to the data collection strategy. How do you coordinate all of this? So you need to think of your strategy in 3 phases. First, you collect the data. This is defining the why, the what, the how, the when, and the who. You need to be crystal clear on your boundaries, your materiality, your metrics, your data collection methods, timelines, and responsibilities. And second, you manage this data. So you need to store everything in a central database, run quality checks for accuracy and consistency, and continuously evaluate and adjust your methods. And third, you need to use the data. So you need to analyze, visualize it with BI tools, report using the right frameworks, and communicate it to different stakeholders, and then make data-driven decisions about your targets and your reduction plans. So this isn't just data collection, it's a management system. So spreadsheets versus software. Spreadsheets are low cost, they're flexible, they're great for early stage work, and they're quick to prototype. But they are manual, they're prone to errors, they're hard to version control, and they're not that great on audit trails, and they don't scale well. Software platforms, they offer automated calculations, stronger audit trails, better workflows, better security, and they scale to large Scope 3 datasets. But of course they cost money, they require change management, and they can be overkill for a simple inventory. So the question isn't which is better, it's which one is right for where you are now. So when to switch from spreadsheets to software? Switching to software when your Scope 3 grows beyond 3 or 4 material categories, when you need supplier data, and when multiple business units contribute, or when your audit requirements escalates, is a great idea. Spreadsheets might still be fine if you have a simple inventory, a low Scope 3 materiality, or you're just in year 1 for scoping the work. But here's a warning. Spreadsheets are cheap until assurance begins. Audit costs can explode due to poor version control and manual evidence gathering. So software selection criteria. If you are choosing software, you need to ask 6 critical questions. 1, has it been through ASRS, IFRS, or TCFD assurance before? 2, how are emission factors updated and evidenced? 3, can you audit and correct data changes with a proper trail? 4, does it handle full Scope 3 complexity and supplier data? And 5, can you export everything if you ever need to leave? And finally, what is the product roadmap? Where is this platform heading? These questions separate serious tools from shiny demo products. So now bringing the organization with you on this reporting journey. Finally, you obviously can't do this alone. You need the whole organization contributing. Here's how to get buy-in. Try speaking their language. For facilities, show how data informs efficiency upgrades and CapEx cases. For finance, it's accurate disclosures and lower audit costs. Procurement sees supplier performance tracking. HR sees support for flexible working and well-being. IT sees cost optimization opportunities. And operations wants to see continuous improvements. Executive leadership, they see reputation, protection, and investor trust. Make ASRS meaningful to them, not just meaningful to the sustainability team. That's how you galvanize support. So to summarize, start with purpose. Know why you're doing this. Understand ASRS requirements. Scope 1 and 2 are mandatory. Scope 3 is proportionate based on materiality. Know your data sources across finance, procurement, HR, IT, facilities, and suppliers. Choose your collection method, spreadsheets for simple starts, software for scale and auditability, and bring the organization with you by speaking their language. In our next video, we'll cover everything about audits and assurance, what auditors look for, how to prepare, and what actually happens during the process. And we'll share real insights from our customers who've been through multiple years of climate-related disclosures in New Zealand. Their lessons learned, what worked, what didn't, and their advice for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.